Hello everyone, and welcome back to another deck profile. Sorry it's been a while. I was on a trip and then I got sick. As soon as I came back from the trip, you can kind of still hear it in my voice. So I was trying to let my voice heal a little bit. Anyways, I'm here with Crystrons because a lot of the stuff we got in, well, with the new ban list and the new set that drops, a lot of stuff has come out for, well, two things. Has come out for Crystrons that really help them with their strategy. So I think you guys will like this stuff. But well, we can just jump right into it, and you'll see which cards I'm talking about. I took down Zulfiner to 2. Honestly, he's super searchable, and you just kind of keep him in the graveyard, so you really only need the 2 copies of him. You basically just dump him into the graveyard, and then he can start dumping cards out of your hand, especially summon himself, and then he destroys himself, yada yada yada. Which usually you'll bring out the non-tuners. I figured out after playing this deck for a while. So, for example, let's say Zulfiner's in the graveyard, and you have a Smyger in your hand. Activate Zulfiner in the graveyard, special summon him by discarding Smyger to the graveyard. Then Smyger is live in the graveyard, and you can banish him and do his whole thing. But more importantly, you can special Zulfiner, then he can destroy any card in the field, but usually he'll destroy himself to summon another non-tuner from the deck, like Crystron or something like that. But Zulfiner's really good. You really don't need 3 of them, though. Honestly, you can even make a case for him to going down to 2 if you really wanted to. Anyway, so next we have Smyger. We learned 3 of him. All of the non-tuners, excluding Zulfiner, have the same effect, or similar. They all work similar in the way that they can destroy themselves on the field and then special summon a tuner from the deck. I'll be honest, 99% of the time you really don't want to do that. I don't know why they have that effect. I guess let's just shuffle them around, but when you do that, you can't activate the other effect of banishing them in the graveyard to, for example, Smyger's is he can search a trap card. Which the only one we're playing is Impact. You can banish him from the graveyard and then get a trap card. Then Crystrons' unique effect is to search a Crystron card. Just want to make sure. Any Crystron monster. Okay, I was just making sure it didn't say like tuners or something. But yeah, Thristfern, you can search. I would search, again, the non-tuners with Thristfern to keep fueling Zulfiner. Then we have the turtle, Peristortle. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. We only play 2 of him. His unique effect is to special summon 1 from the hand, to banish, and then special a Crystron monster from your hand. Not bad. Pretty good. And Rosenix' unique ability is to banish itself from the graveyard and then special a level 1 token from the deck, or to the field, not from the deck. Pretty good. It's not bad. It can get you some extra levels and maybe an extra body for like a link summon or something like that. So it's pretty nice. For the tuners, we are playing Citri, 3 of the level 2. So they all work slightly differently, the tuners, and they're all different levels as well. So Citri is the level 2, which is going to be the one that you're going for a lot of the time. Citri, they can all quick effect synchro summon on your opponent's turn, all the Crystron tuners, so they all have that exact same effect, but they all do it slightly differently. So for example, Citri, synchro summon 1 machine synchro monster using only that monster in this card. These synchro materials are banished instead of being sent to the graveyard. During your opponent's main phase, you can target 1 non-tuner monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and then synchro summon immediately. And then the materials are banished. So that's how Citri works. And we have Rion, is the level 3 one. He targets one of your banished non-tuner monsters. And that's any monster. It doesn't have to be a Crystron, so that's pretty good. special summon it, and the materials are then shuffled into the deck instead of being sent to the graveyard. And then we have Quan. One Quan. Special summon one non-tuner from your hand. And after this, have the effects negated. Is it monster? Yeah, they just go right to the graveyard for Quan. Yeah, they all work slightly differently. I do 3, 2, 1 for them. I could see a case of even dropping Quan. I really don't use them that much. Rion and Citri are both really good, though. Especially Rion's level, and you'll see why. Rion's level is really important for doing a lot of stuff. Here's our first new tech for the new cards that we got recently. Fishborg Harpooner. This card is amazing in this deck. It is so good. So if you don't know what Fishborg Harpooner does, basically if you have, let's say, Crystrons, we can activate Harpooner, reveal both. Then we have the choice to discard Crystrons and special Harpooner, or discard Harpooner and special Crystrons. So you get the choice to special summon and then discard the other of any card that you really want to. It's any water monster, any of them. So that includes Zolfiner, like level 5 and higher monsters. It is a really good card. And then also, if it's used for a synchro material, it negates the effects of a monster on your opponent's field. So that's a nice little bonus. Its level is really good. It's a level 4. So you can do like 2 level 3s and then a 4, and that'll make your level 10. It's just really good, especially for dumping Crystron monsters. Especially, they want to go straight to the graveyard. That's what you want to do. So you can activate Harpooner, send Crystrons, then banish Crystrons to get another search, and keep going and popping off. As well as getting Zolfiner in the graveyard. So if you have something like this, you can do discard Zolfiner to special Harpooner, then use Zolfiner's effect to discard Crystrons out of your hands, special Zolfiner destroys itself, and then you get to special summon something else from the deck, like Rosenix, that's a level 8 synchro if you wanted to. As well as you can discard this, or banish this to search another card, so you have a lot of options, especially for we didn't use our normal summon yet, so we can search Turtle, for example, normal summon, and that's a level 10 synchro. So there's a lot of options with Harpooner. He opens up a lot of cool new things you can do, because it was kind of difficult to get your Crystrons in the graveyard. Anyways, that is the first tech. You'll see the other one. I'm sure you're all familiar with this. Ice Jade Ran. This card is completely busted. It's so good. I mean, no wonder it's going up in price like crazy. I bought a lot of them when they first came out because I knew this card is nuts. It's a free level 10 just by discarding any water monster, and we want to do that in Crystrons. It works in the same way as like Mermails. This is a really good card in Mermails because it gets their effects off. And same idea with Crystrons. Just much more complicated. Then we have Genex Undyne. The card that I cut was actually Scrap Recycler. Because it is an Earth card, sometimes you'll run into the problems with, another water monster with like Aerogene and Harpooner, because they both require water monsters to interact with. It happens, so I did cut this out instead of Genex Undyne. They both work pretty much the exact same way, though. So, and then you have to have the Genex controller with Undyne as well. And the other tech, which I'm sure you know what it is Tidal. Tidal is amazing in this deck. It's another level 7, so it does so much. It's just like Mermails, like I said, similar way. You can banish a total of 2 water monsters from your hand and or graveyard. Then special summon this card, which that can get. He's a level 7, so that works really well with Rion to make level 10s. We're honestly, if you don't know, there's one card we're just trying to spam out over and over and over, and that's Sword Soul Cheng Ying, because we just banish like crazy in this deck. So Changing works amazingly well in this deck, especially the levels. The levels work out a lot to make level 10s. So yeah, and then also he can discard cards and send them to the graveyard it as a Foolish Burial, and then you can banish them, so you can use Tidal in a bunch of different ways, not just the banish 2 to special summon himself. Yeah, that is the monsters. You do run a heavy monster line in this deck just because you have a lot of fuel that you go through very quickly. And you know me, I really like a pure build instead of running like a bunch of hand traps and stuff. But there is room. I mean, you can cut like, you know, one of the Smigers, one of the Rosenix here, probably one of the Citrus. You can do that stuff for more hand traps. It's not a bad thing by any means. If you want a more competitively viable build, but you know me. Anyways, for the spells, run 1 Harpies, 1 Regeki, you know, basic stuff. Foolish Burial Goods, Foolish Burial. These both work incredibly well. Same idea though. You can send Zulfiner to get him live in the graveyard so you can start doing a bunch of other stuff. And Foolish Burial Goods, you already know what card that is. Ice Barrier. Burial from a Different Dimension. I like this card because I think there's another one that sends them back into the deck, and I think you draw one or something. I forgot what the name of the card is, but I like this one because it sends them back to the graveyard, and then their effects are live again to keep going. The Crystrons specifically. Yeah, it works really well. That is it for the spells. Nothing too crazy. And for the traps, you already know what they are. Crystron Impact and Ice Barrier. This card works really well to protect your Crystrons. And then also the search power and protection from Ice Barrier as well, even just using it the regular way of like setting it and then it going to the graveyard. Works really well. We will get into the extra deck. We are running Crystron, Quarion, Gantrax. He does work really well. I mean, he works like Trishula. The only unfortunate thing is you do need 2 tuners to make him, and then 1 non-tuner. So it's like the opposite of Trishula. But you can banish up to the number of synchro materials used, which is going to be at least 3. It's never really going to be 4, but it is possible. And it does only target monsters. Also, if the synchro summon card is destroyed by battle or card effects, you can target 1 banished monster and then summon it to the field. And that's any monster, not just Crystrons. Then we have Crystron Phoenix. This one banishes all spells and traps as soon as it hits the field, though you do need 1 tuner synchro monster and 1 non-tuner synchro monster, which I might as well show you right now what those 2 are. Quandax and Amatrix. Quandax does a similar thing to the other main deck tuners where he can quick effect on your opponent's turn, synchro summon. It's really hard to use these, I'm not even gonna lie. But Amatrix, I believe, changes all face-up special summon monsters your opponent controls to defense position. Then he can target a Crystron and special summon it as well when it dies. They're okay. But the main idea here is going to be to summon Changing a bunch of times. I'm honestly thinking about running 3 just because you'll run through him. People are going to want to get rid of him as soon as he hits the field. He's really annoying to deal with. I mean, he's really irritating. Especially in Crystrons. You'll be banishing left and right, getting his effect off. Granted, it's only once per turn, but it's basically always going to be live, his effect. Then we are also playing Aerogene. Aerogene is the other... I've said this so many times that once you get these 2 on the field, it's really, really hard to deal with, unless you have a Kaiju and, you know, stuff like that. But through basic means, these cards are not going anywhere once they're hitting the field. Psychic and Punisher, pretty good, level 11. Trishula, Navy Dragon Mech, Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Dragite, of course, the Spell and Trap Negate is really good. Love this card. White Over Whale is really, really strong. It just does so much. Powered in Zektron. This is a Crystron staple. It's pretty funny. When this card is Synchro Summoned this turn, this card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Also, you take no damage. It is a basically, I'm not going to die this turn card. It's a level 6. It's pretty easy to make with its levels. Then we play one of the Starboy, because most of our cards are water except for like him, and him. Everything in the main deck is water. Yeah, that's it for the deck profile. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, like I said, sorry it's been a while. A lot of stuff going on. Let me know what deck you guys want to see next. I know a couple people were saying they want to see like another Earth Arctic thing, and maybe an updated Sharks or something. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and we'll see you in the next one.